Oh, you got it, super. Okay, so I will only go 2-3 more minutes, just show you. Okay, so if you go to our 586 website, towards the bottom over here, it's showing the whole thing. Let me see if I can make it. Yeah, so over here, okay, you'll see there's a link over here, batch norm derivation. And I'll just quickly point out the main concept. Okay. So normally if this is the neuron, right, you'll see this is our sum, and this part is not there. So from sum we go to the activation function, right? So now if you take a look at this block over here, what is this block doing? You'll see it is subtracting the mean of the batch and then dividing by the variance, right? Okay, so dividing by the variance. Okay, then after we divide it by the variance, okay, then further we have two programmable parameters because earlier we said we don't want to completely eliminate the bias because in some cases it will be needed. So then if you take a look over here, this part over here further will multiply by some factor gamma and add beta. So this is sort of like if bias is needed, we'll take care of that during the training. Okay. So then if you go through the derivation of it, so because now we have two blocks over here, we need to know how will we compute this delta, which is the derivative from the loss partial L over partial AI over partial SB, if I call this output SB, right? So this, by multiplying the two derivatives, we can come up with the expression for delta. We also have a delta Bn over here because if we know this delta, then if there was a neuron over here, how will we compute the delta? What's the relationship of this delta with this delta?
The weight.
The weights, exactly, right? So if we start from these two expressions, and now come up with partial L over partial AI over SB, partial SB over partial SI hat, partial SI hat over partial SI, which will be the delta Bn. So the details you guys can go through, so I broke it into 3 different paths. And like I said, it's a little bit messy, but the final answer is pretty neat. The final answer is, as we go combine all the 3 parts, this is the relationship for the delta. N is the number of samples in the batch. SI is the output that was produced over here. This is the variance of the batch. Anyway, gamma, beta will start randomly, and then it will learn what those are.
What is epsilon?
The epsilon is there so that if the square root at the denominator becomes 0, so it's a small, like 1 into 10 to the negative 6. So this is exactly what we'll code over in the code. And then what you will see is if we use batch normalization, the accuracy will go a tiny bit higher, but the lambda that we pick, sorry, not the lambda, the learning rate that we pick now can be a lot higher compared to that, right? So I'll provide you all the code and all the steps to try it out in your next assignment. So keep working on your current assignment, and please go through this. If you have any questions, stop by my office and I'll clarify.